Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk here in the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel. Chris Halicke here. We're breaking down Aaron Rodgers' Week 6 Jets versus Bills of the 2024 season. Definitely a better game overall from the Jets, Rodgers included. They did lose this game 23-20 to the Bills. Obviously, the Bills were one of the best teams in football, so they're not losing to any scrub team, and it was a close game. This is also the first game after Robert Saleh had been fired, but still came up short. There was the controversial red line criticism at the end of the game, or like for the last play of the game. We'll get into that and try to break that play down, but let's dive into the numbers real quick, and then we'll dive into the film. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 35, so didn't throw the ball nearly as often this time. For 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. That 1 pick was on the last play of the game for the Jets. Passer rating of 99, and an ESPN QBR of 57.4, which I think is kind of a low number for a performance like this. PFF was a little bit more generous. Remember, PFF grade, if you do nothing at all, it's a 60. So pretty much you stand there on the sideline, do nothing, you get a 60. They gave him an overall grade of 80.3, a passing grade of 80.4. So a pretty generous grade by their standards. Of these first 6 games, it was his third best game. It was credited with 2 big-time throws, 0 turnover-worthy plays. Average depth of target, 9 yards. So significant change there, because the highest it had been at any point over the first 5 games was 7.8 in the game against the Broncos in Week 4. So definitely some changes there. But one thing that definitely opened things up for the Jets was a very good run game. They only ran the ball 21 times, but they ran it for 121 yards, averaging 5.8 yards per carry. So they were much more successful on the ground, which definitely helps open things up. So, all right, let's dive into the film here. First play, you get a play action. There's the back foot, so we're seeing what Rodgers is trying to read on the first read. He's throwing it, and it's Garrett Wilson here on this drag. So this is one thing we've been kind of tracing throughout this entire season so far, is the disconnect between this guy and this guy. It's just been there. And, whether it's an arrow route not being ran correctly, or with good timing, or a deep out, or a corner, whatever it is, it's just not been working between these two. And so I like this, where you come out, and I think this is the second pass of the game, and it's not a timing route. It's just this drag. Run this. You're not really worried about timing so much here. You're more worried about, okay, just run away from the guy who's covering you. And if it's zone, then, run toward open grass. And Rodgers does a great job here of anticipating it. The Bills, it looks like they're playing some sort of man, but like this guy obviously leaves Wilson, and this guy comes and picks him up. But either way, he's left open. Rodgers hits him in stride, and they get a really good gain out of it. I mean, Wilson goes down. He gets a big gain. This kind of stuff, it was encouraging to see this from the Jets' perspective, knowing the disconnect that had been happening there between Rodgers and Wilson. That was a breath of fresh air to see early in the game, and they definitely connected much more often in this game. As a matter of fact, we can look, Garrett Wilson had a game high for the Jets, 10 targets, but he caught 8 of them. Consistently over the first 5 games, it was 5 catches on 9 targets, or it was 13 catches on 23 targets, something along those lines. A lot of targets that were not being caught, and that was not the case in this game. 8 out of 10 is a really good percentage. Next play, Rodgers get the back foot. Looks like this is a 3rd down play, so just trying to get to the sticks. Get this little quick out from the running back. That's what he's trying to hit, and it's there, a little far in front maybe, but but it's incomplete. Let's look at the end zone view, see if we can get a better view of the actual throw, see if it's off target at all. I don't know, man. It's hard to tell from that angle. I'd rather get the other view, but that's not available on NFL Pro. In my mind, and I think about this from a receiver's perspective, this has got to be caught. My mentality every time, whenever I did play football, I played receiver, and I always had the mentality of, if it hits me in the hands, I got to catch it. And I understand this is, Breece Hall, this is a running back, but also, if you want to make sure it's caught, make sure that's somebody who's paid to catch the ball a little bit better than a running back. So I don't know. Unless they think a lot of Breece Hall, which he does make some catches downfield. So I'm not saying he can't, but I don't know. Kind of hard to pin that one. I pin that more on the receiver than I do the quarterback. I just do. That's my own personal philosophy. Everybody can disagree. That's fine. Rodgers here, back foot. What are we reading? Definitely looking left. Oh, I think this is the stupid throw for a touchdown. Going to improv a little bit. You got Wilson coming. He's running kind of this little kind of stop right there on the weak side of the play. But once he sees Rodgers scramble, he decides to run to the back of the end zone, which is good. It gives him another option. Rodgers keeps his eyes downfield, puts his hand up like, hey, here, I'm open. Good stuff. And Rodgers, again, off platform. Neither angle that I'm going to show here is going to show how stupid this throw was. This will do a better job of it. But this was a heck of a throw by Rodgers, for sure. Get the back foot. He doesn't like what he sees. He's got the ability to step up. He got a good pocket, got good protection. The offensive line was definitely better in this game, for sure. I mean, Rodgers was sacked 3 times. Overall, though, the pass protection was significantly better. We get this. I mean, by the time he actually releases the ball, I mean, he is not. Neither of his feet are on the ground. I mean, ball's out of his hands there. Neither foot is on the ground. And it goes right through the defender's hands there. And you can see that from the television angle. And I can't show the TV angle here. The NFL will block the video. It goes right through the defender's hands. And then it's just right on the money. I mean, I don't know if that was one of the 2 big-time throws that Rodgers was credited with in this game. But, again, it's kind of like the one to Garrett Wilson on the goal line that we saw a few weeks ago, like season-wise. Just putting it in the only place that Garrett Wilson can catch it, that's this type of throw. I mean, it's just, to me, this is a big-time throw. It's a great throw from Rodgers here. And the Jets get on the board. This is a close game. I mean, this was never out of reach for the Jets. They had a 10-7 lead at the end of the first quarter. They were down 20-17 at halftime. And we'll see how that obviously played out. But then only a field goal for each team in the second half. And the Jets obviously did not get any help from their kicker either. I mean, their kicker missed 2 field goals. Greg Zuerlein missed 2 field goals. You got to wonder, Rodgers is going to be a situation where he's got a better kicker now. All right, next play, Rodgers. Really quick, and again, this is what I like. Garrett Wilson's just running this slant. You get the little jab step to the outside. You freeze the corner. This is when Garrett Wilson can be a good route runner. And I mean, he creates a bunch of separation, and it's on time. That's what's great about it. You're not seeking contact. That's the big thing. When we've seen Wilson be off, like his timing been off on his routes, he's like gone out and he's like made contact with the corner and then broken off. So like based off of the way that he had ran routes in the first 5 weeks, he'd go up, hand fight for a little bit, and then go. That messes with the timing. Here he does a quick little jab step to the outside, and then goes up, and that works. That little jab step right there, it freezes the corner. That creates the separation. That way, by the time Rodgers' back foot hits, he's already ready to throw it. It's on time. That's what it's supposed to look like. And it creates a really good gain, really good chunk. Take that every single time. Again, quarterback, when the back foot hits, it's either back foot, usually on a slant, it's back foot and throw. It's not back foot, hitch, and then throw. It's back foot, get rid of it immediately. And, I mean, it's right there. It's perfect. This is what it's supposed to look like. So, whatever they did during practice this week, whatever they've shown, like, again, I don't know, but it looked way better. This is the best it looked in this game between Rodgers and Garrett Wilson all season long so far. Shouldn't take 6 games to get this down, but this is what it's supposed to look like. Next play here. Get Garrett Wilson moving in motion. Back foot. Where's he looking? Is he looking at this right here? Possibly. Doesn't throw it. Reads this. He might be reading this left to right. I have to look at his head, but it looks like he might be reading this 1, 2, 3. And he's throwing this to Hall. I mean, Hall's open too. So you're running 2 verticals there. You got 1 attacking the seam. You got 1 on the red line. Again, for those who don't know what the red line is, just really quick. Practice fields have this red line literally that goes all down the entire sideline like this. And it's about 5 yards away from the sideline. And so based off of this view, this receiver right here is running along the red line. And this receiver right here, which is, happens to be Breece Hall, is attacking the seam. Especially with the Bills being in cover 3 here, you're trying to attack this window between this deep third defender and this deep third defender, which is what attacking the seam does against cover 3. It definitely stresses this defender, but it also, it forces this defender to step up and defend this guy as well. This is good stuff here. This is a good play. This is a good play because you get this right here. You get this. You get Wilson who's coming out into the flat. This receiver right here is going to take like this defender here and this defender here. So that's going to occupy those guys. Yeah, this is a good play. Well executed too. Good stuff from the Jets. Haven't been able to say that a lot this season. I have not. This is just straight up cover 3. I mean, everybody plays it different, but yeah, he's definitely looking to Lazard first. So he's looking to that. Doesn't like it. You can see him. You can see Rodgers peek right here. When he's peeking, I guarantee you, he's not looking at this guy. He's looking at this hook curl defender here to see what his depth is going to be. And so that's why he's like, nope, because I got a guy here. I got a guy here. That's covered up. So now, again, that's what's making me think this is going 1, and then Hall is 2, and then the guy running the go down the sideline on the red line is 3. That's my guess. That's why whenever he gets to second read right there, he's like, I like it. It's there. Boom. Boom. Good play. Well executed. Works against cover 3. Good stuff. All right, next play. We got flea flicker action. Where are we going here? Based off of Rodgers' head, and again, I'll get better from the end zone view. It looks like this might be trying to go to Lazard there. He doesn't like it. I don't know why. Can't layer that over the top. I mean, that's kind of open. And it leads to a sack. This sack might be more on Rodgers here. Flea flicker action. It almost looks like he's looking at Garrett Wilson down there. Yeah, because he goes right, and then he checks back, and then he checks Lazard right here. So let's go back and look at Garrett Wilson and see if he's open. Get the ball back. Is that Garrett Wilson down there? Is that 5? Yeah, I think so. Maybe he doesn't like how close this defender is there. Maybe he thinks that if he tries to layer this throw, or not layer the throw, but if he tries to put that throw right there on the sideline, that this defender will be able to jump the route. Maybe. It kind of stays open, though. Maybe he just doesn't trust this. Again, I don't know. In my mind, I would throw that. But again, if you see this guy and he's within, 5 yards, which he is, maybe he's afraid that this is going to get jumped. I don't know. Because he's definitely looking that way first. Because he wants to throw it first, too, and then he tries to get to Lazard. And not only is that going to be covered up, I mean, you could possibly try to layer that throw, but then by that time you got a guy in your face. And that might be both on Rodgers and the protection. I mean, what happens with that guy? Oh, he just gets turned around. That's Vera Tucker. I mean, the center here definitely tries to get him over, so that Vera Tucker can pick him up, so that he can go pick that guy up. Protection should be good by that point. That's what it should be, and Vera Tucker just gets completely kind of on both here, kind of both on Rodgers and the offensive line. Not a fan. I do think this is the last play of the first half. No, it's not. There we go. We got some really deep Buffalo defenders here. This is definitely inside 2 minutes, though. I remember. Okay, so this is his first read right here. He turns it down. Then he sees Wilson coming in on this dig right here, and he hits him. This is just, again, good stuff from Rodgers. And, I like seeing this stuff. Now, the big difference here is that Wilson's not his first read. So, by the time Rodgers would get over to Wilson, if he's not out of his break, he either fell down or, tore an ACL or was knocked off his route or something. So, by the time he actually gets over to Wilson, this is because, he definitely wants to throw this first. He doesn't. Probably doesn't like this defender lurking right there. Instead, he goes back to Wilson. That's open. Puts it right on him. Good stuff. Again, it was good to see this from Rodgers and Wilson in this game because this is the best it looked all season. This, I think, is the last play of the first half. This was a Hail Mary to the end zone, 52 yards. When Rodgers lets go of this ball, he is at the 42-yard line. So this ball is being thrown 58 yards from the goal line, and it is caught about, 3 yards into, almost 4 yards into the end zone. So this ball is well over 60 yards in the air. Do we really want to keep questioning Aaron Rodgers' arm strength? Does anybody want to keep questioning it? And you get this, this referee who says no, who says it's incomplete because he sees the ball come out the last second. But then this referee right here, He's signaling touchdown because he saw it. First off, let's look really quick here. Just the throwing motion, just to get a good look. We got 2 guys rushing. I mean, I don't understand what people want. Let's see. Rodgers has been doing this his entire career. I don't understand how somebody can be so successful with Hail Marys. He just angles it in a perfect way. I mean, again, this is going 60-plus yards in the air. It's just caught. Goes down to the ground with it. Good for this referee right here being there to call that. Imagine if they didn't have replay. So that obviously gets ripped out after he's already on the ground. Bill's trying to sneak away. Alrighty, second half now. So that actually made the game. The Jets were down 20-10. Then that made it 20-17 at halftime. All right, we get back foot. What's he looking at? Doesn't like it. Gets a guy immediately. What are we running? What are these two running right here? I don't like how close they are together. Okay. So you got this guy attacking middle of the field. This guy's running this dig, and this guy's running. So you got kind of a levels thing going on right here. And the Bills have it pretty well covered up. So, how do we lose up front? Looks good there. I don't like that posture whatsoever. Oh, you never want to see an offensive lineman in that posture right there. Oh. You never, I didn't even know. I actually thought that this guy was the one who got off. You never want to see an offensive lineman in that posture right there. That is, like, it looks like he's about to get choke slammed. That is bad news. Edge rushers, you always want to see tackles be the one to initiate contact. You never want to see the edge rusher be the one to initiate because that can happen. Completely knocks them off. Oh, my gosh. That's so bad. That's horrific. That one's on the offensive line. Sorry. Oh, we get a flag at the end. What did we get? Messing with Rodgers at the end? This is interesting. Did something to get a flag. I mean, I don't know. Next play here. Get back foot. Oh, if this isn't the read, that sucks. Because you could just fire a bullet. Get that to him. Too late now. He's throwing this to Wilson. Yeah, he tries to throw it away from the defender. Tries to throw it to, like, this back shoulder right here. I think he just misses him. Would have really... he's even looking here. But by the time Rodgers turns it down, I mean, he's thinking that there's just no chance that Conklin's going to get open from that, and it turns out he does. I mean, there is a fraction of a second about right there where if the ball's out with anticipation, you can fire a bullet through that window and hit Conklin. Because the safety won't get over there in time. This guy won't be able to react in time. I mean, he's definitely looking to see where this defender is, okay? So that's obviously what you want to do. He just doesn't like it, and so he turns it down. But again, if he stayed on him, and threw it about there, like started his throwing motion there, it's caught probably right there. But also, you see this defender move over more because the head is moving over. The head's turned that way, and he starts to actually move in that direction. So this defender starts to move over more. That could have been there, in my opinion. Even if you're not trying to throw it where it's on the same level, you could kind of like trying to think of the best way to illustrate it, like layer it over. That to me is a miss. I don't know if it's because he doesn't trust the protection, he doesn't want to stick with it. I don't know, but that one should have been there. And then this throw right here, almost there, almost good enough, but that's a low percentage. That's a low percentage throw. It just is. All right, let's hurry this up. Rodgers play action. Got the easy outlet right here. Oh, I like the fact that he turns it down. It's so easy to just take that and get the yardage, but he is 1,000% looking for Garrett Wilson coming over on that crosser. And this is just your typical 3-level. You got this guy running, you get Garrett Wilson running here, and then you get the flat here. Alert, if the coverage is good, if the coverage dictates, this would be your alert right here. And then pretty much you are reading the curl flat defender here. If he's really shallow, then you would throw this. If he is getting more depth, then you would throw this. So that's the way that these 3-level things work. This curl flat defender is 1,000% jumping up on that. So that gives the depth in order to throw this over the top and hit Garrett Wilson right there. So that's just good quarterbacking. Yeah, that's good stuff. And honestly, probably poor defense from the Bills. You always want to keep everything in front of you. So, because he is 1,000% looking to see what this curl flat defender is doing. So good stuff. He sees this guy completely booking it toward the tight end. So he knows, okay, Garrett Wilson's coming over on this crosser. I can throw it, wait for the window to open. I got plenty of time. Throw it over the top. Perfect. Good quarterbacking. Good stuff. All right, next play. I think we have 2 plays left. And if this is the play that I think it is, this has to be one of the big-time throws. Back foot. Where's he looking? It looks like he's looking to Lazard right here. So this might be first read. Gets rid of the ball just in time. Yeah. So Bills are in a cover 2 here for sure. This might be cover 2 man or some sort of combination. This ball probably shouldn't be thrown, but this is just trust in the receiver. I don't know how in the heck this is completed. It's only because this guy's, he never turns around. End zone angle is stupid here. Also, what are we doing here, left tackle? Oh, that's so bad. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Bad pass, bro. Ooh. Get out of my mind for a second. I mean, he seriously barely gets that off. How is this ball caught? Dude, that's crazy. He literally throws that. I mean, it's right there. If that's not a big-time throw, I don't know what is. That's 2 stupid throws in this game from Rodgers, not counting the Hail Mary, the touchdown throw to Garrett Wilson, and then this one. All right, I believe this is final play of the game for the Jets. Attacking the seam. So you got Lazard attacking the seam. He puts his hand up. So we got a similar concept to what we have. And then based off of even what we saw earlier, this other vertical is supposed to be closer to the red line. And Rodgers is I mean, I don't like the guy I don't like him calling out the guy publicly. This is kind of stuff that should be happening behind closed doors. He is kind of right. If this is genuinely supposed to be on the red line, which again, if we are going to put where the red line normally is during practice, it's usually about there. He's running on this track right here. That ain't good enough. The whole reason you have little details like that is because you want to stretch the defense out. And when you're this bunched together, you're going to bunch all of these defenders together. And so now Rodgers can still throw him a better ball. Williams also slips and it ends up getting picked. But imagine if this ball, if the receiver were on the red line. Imagine if he were here. Sorry, that's terrible. Imagine if he were here instead of there. If he were running this right here, Rodgers could probably just bomb that to the sideline and have all this. The whole reason you have this red line, by the way, is so that the quarterback has... Here, I'll put the red line out real quick again. Put probably a decent angle right here. About right there. The whole reason you have that is so that as the receiver is running his route along that red line, okay, the quarterback can do a number of different things. He can throw this where he's leading this over the top, and it kind of goes over the shoulder there. He can really kind of throw this where it kind of lands on the red line, where you're really over the shoulder. Or you can throw this complete back shoulder thing where you get the receiver to turn around and adjust to it. Or you can throw this where it's like to the sideline and then the receiver kind of bends away from the defender and then catches it over the shoulder. The whole purpose of the red line being there is for the quarterback to have this extra room right here to make a number of different types of throws depending on the defense. That's the whole purpose of it. So when the guys, you have all this extra room, but does the receiver have enough time to adjust if he wants to throw this to the sideline, which is where obviously all the room is. But if he doesn't have the time to throw it there and the receiver doesn't have enough time to adjust to get over there, then it doesn't matter. So that is why details are important. That's why when coaches build playbooks and build plays for their playbook, each receiver is very detailed, depending on the offensive coordinator, very detailed on where he's supposed to be, on the field, how far downfield before a break, whatever it is. Each route is very detailed. It's not, hey, just go run a 7 route. It's usually a certain depth, you have certain landmarks that are given. And here, if Rodgers is correct off of what the playbook says, Williams is not in the right spot. So that's the disconnect there. Now again, Rodgers can still throw him a better football, but if the details aren't right from the receivers, then it really doesn't matter. Also, you probably shouldn't be throwing while you're falling away. You probably have enough time to set. So if you're wondering why maybe it didn't go a little further right, you shouldn't be falling away like this. That doesn't help matters. That's thinking you're still 26. Because that ball should go out more to that side. And if you're falling away this way, then it's no wonder why the ball ends up further that way. So it's also not a great ball from Rodgers either. So it's lack of details, but it's also not a great throw. Now, he wasn't credited with a turnover-worthy play by PFF, I still think this could be a better throw. Honestly, just because I didn't like this falling away right there. I don't like that. That's me personally, though. Rodgers has done that throughout his entire career. He's had an unorthodox throwing motion, unorthodox footwork. It's just me. I don't like that, especially when you are trying to throw that far over to essentially what should, because this ball doesn't even make it to the red line. Now, he can't throw it to the red line because the red line would be about right here normally. But also, that's not. That's a big gap. So, lack of details, folks, is never good. Anyway, that's enough for this one. Better game from Rodgers this time around overall, for sure. But still not good enough for the Jets overall against a really good football team. Catch you guys on the Flippity Flip. We'll be back tomorrow. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure Stadium in Week 7. So, catch you guys then.